So I made a video about dynamic dropdowns, and basically the way it works is we have this data on this tab, and if we go back to this main tab we have this dropdowns. If we select BMW we only get BMW models, if we select Toyota we only get Toyota models, and that's pretty much how it's gonna work. The thing is that if we want to add more to our list, so let's say we want to add another make to all of this, and there we are, so that should automatically just populate here. But as far as the list, we would have to go here and create our list. Obviously we have to put the values in there. So if we have, I don't know, let's say these, we go back, see they don't show up for this model yet. There isn't, they don't show up is because we need to name the range as well every time we add a new manufacturers. So here we would go here and do a name range, right click, define name, and there we are, right. So now we have our new defined range, and let's see, so that's our Corolla, etc. If we go back, there we go. So now it works just fine. Now the problem here is that, well, not so much of a problem, is that every time we add a new manufacturer we have to go and create a name range for that manufacturer for this to work. I thought maybe it would be nicer if we didn't have to do that, so it just automatically works by default. So I'm going to try to do that in this video. So if you're trying to understand how this particular thing works that I have and you don't, please watch the video that I made about the dependent dropdown lists and then come back to this one. It will make a lot more sense, okay? So to make this happen, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to restructure this a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically just try to transpose this data like this. So it's basically flipped around instead of having it this way. So I could have worked with this, but it would make it work complicated. It's going to be a lot easier to do it this way. So I'm going to delete this stuff, and there it is. I have my Toyota, BMW, basically different brands, and this is models going on the right. So what I want to do is I want to be able to add new car maintenance factors in their models and automatically have them appear in this list. Now this obviously not gonna work. I'm actually going to go under data validation and remove validation, and for this I'm going to make a new data validation, and my new data validation is going to be list from a range, and I will go to this list, put this on the side and select this range going down somehow like this. So here we go, that's a range, you know. Okay, go back. So I should have this working now. The second part is to make the second part working. When I select something here, I want these to show all the models. So the first thing I'm going to do, before I get to the whole final thing, right, I'm going to use a match function here, and what my match function is going to do, so I'm going to say match, I'm going to search whatever is here selected, and I'll just lock that comma, and I'm going to have to search for that in this list over here. Oops, not that way, we want to go down, and I'll remove this for reference to be able to search all the way down, and this is going to be an exact match 0, so that should search through the list and find something. So right now it says for, because number 4 is this brand, and that's the brand selected right now. If I switch this to, let's say, BMW, and go back here, it says number 2 because number 2 is BMW, right? So what we need to do any other day, so I still want to use that indirect function, right? And I'm going to say, well, let's just pick this range right here. So my range right now, if I had BMW, should be from 2 right all the way through. Well, I would say let's just go to the end in this particular case. So basically let's just select that range. That's going to be a range from E2 through K2. Okay, so what's going to change if it's not already? It's going to become E3 through K3 and so on. So right now I'm just going to type this as text over here, E2 through K2, right? That's what I have now. It's 2 because it's BMW. If it's Toyota it should be E1 through K1, right? So I'm going to try to build that range as text, so I'm going to just do this. That's just going to be text right now, so around it in quotes. So what I will do, I will basically just grab this match function that gives me, let me actually lock that just for good practice, right? I'm going to copy the match function, not the equal sign. I'm going to escape out of that, and what I'm going to do, instead of saying 2 here, I'm going to remove the 2 and do double quotes. That should cut through our text, and then I'll use concatenation with an and sign again to join that 2 in here. That match function is giving me, and then this 2 I'm going to replace with the match function again with concatenation. So if I'd enter, that should still say E2 through K2. The only difference now is that if I go back here and select Toyota, it's E1 through K1. If I go and select our 4th brand, it should say E4 through K4. So dynamically I'm getting the actual list that I need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy that whole thing that I did without equals sign, remove this, and on top here I'll make my indirect function, and indirect will work with a text as a self-reference, right? So I'm going to go here and paste that reference and close my indirect function and hit enter. Now you can see how we get the error. Basically what's happening is that we're getting this range, but to put that range we have to go this way, and it's getting things on a way. So I want this range to go down, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use transpose function around this whole thing to flip the row into a column. So there we have it now. We got S500, S600, so if I go back here and select Toyota, if I come back here, you're going to see I get Toyota list. So I'm going to remove this because we were able to actually change the range, and as a result we're getting the results right here. So now all I have to do is just use this list for my validation. So I'm gonna go back here, click here data and data validation and list from range, click here, move this away, go to this list, and I'll select from here through here, remove this for reference to go all the way down. So this is update of a list going into the future. So now I should have that built. So there it is, I get these. If I select a different brand, I will get those models. If I select this one, I'm gonna get these models. And now the cool thing about this is that we don't really have to change anything other than adding more data to this. So if I go back here and decide, well, you know what? Let's just add a new make to this like this. If I go back here and click the drop down, there is the new one and there is the item in a list, right? Just like that, it will just work, and I can't just go and add more items to this list without worrying about what else they have, something else. There we go. So we go here, shows up, here's our list, and just like that it works all right. So after the first video, a little add-on, if you want to do this way, you can do that as well. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.